I'm Blackbright, broadcasting out of the UK, and just a quick video today. Yes, because I understand that overstayers, instead of getting 6 months if they get caught, it's up to 4 years in prison. So, I'm Blackbright, broadcasting out the east of England. Welcome to my channel. Put the thumbs up, it always helps. You can subscribe, it helps even more. You can share, you can interact, and for my existing subscribers, thank you for sticking with me. The Nationality and Borders Bill 2021 has passed its third reading in the House of Commons and now goes to the House of Lords on the 5th of January. An amendment to the bill is to make knowingly staying a visa punishable by up to 4 years in prison. Currently, the maximum is 6 months and very rarely prosecuted. So, people before, not that I know anything about this, but according to free movement, people before would overstay and the maximum they would get is 6 months. I don't know what would happen after the 6 months. I don't know if they got let out. I don't know if they got detained. I don't know if they got deported. But now you are going to be imprisoned for up to 4 years if you have overstayed. Anyone who's overstayed, regardless of the reason. And they'll say that you know that you've overstayed just by virtue of your visa running out, your passport is invalid, so you can't even say, oh, well, I didn't know. So that's the first thing. This is being done by adding a new subsection C1 into Section 24 of the Immigration Act 1971. C1, a person who has only a limited leave to enter or remain in the United Kingdom, and B, knowingly remains beyond the time limited by the leave. In other words, you've overstayed your welcome. Commits an offence. Someone convicted in the Crown Court will be liable to imprisonment for a term not exceeding 4 years or a fine or both. The same applies to various other new illegal immigration offences, including entering the UK without electronic travel authorisation. I guess those are the people who sneak in on the boat. The Home Office has created a new plan called the New Plan for Immigration. How novel. Couldn't they think of another name? A document that addresses people who want to apply for asylum and those who have entered the UK illegally. How to prove your immigration status. For you to access your immigration status, the new immigration rules, UK 2021 for illegal immigrants, requires you to produce your share code together with your date of birth to your employer or organisation to check your immigration status. Every generated share code, according to the new Immigration UK 2021 for illegal immigrants, is unique and can only be used for specific purposes on request. For example, the share code for the landlord cannot be used by your employer. New immigration rules in the UK from 2021 for illegal immigrants imply that the purpose of the correct option is vital. In conclusion, the new immigration rules allow you to update your details through your UKVI account. That's your Visa and Immigration account. Up to date. You can make changes and updates when your travelling documents have changed, your email address or your telephone number has changed. Otherwise, they can't send you that deprivation of citizenship if they haven't got your latest address. But I hear it doesn't even matter if they don't have your address. They put it in a file, so you don't know. Or you have changed your name. Therefore, if you need to access your immigration status, the new immigration rules allow you to do so through your UKVI Resolution Centre. They make it sound. I mean, even basic resolution centres are a nightmare, let alone the immigration one. Can you imagine what kind of nightmare that is? The centre allows you to log into your account and recover it, update immigration status, share your immigration status using the share code. I don't even know what the share code is. Obviously, If you're an immigrant, you probably know what it is. They probably give you a reference number or something. But they're talking about, oh, illegal immigrants isn't a very nice term, but they use it all the time. And an illegal immigrant and an undocumented immigrant are two different things. But they want to put everybody in the same boat. They want to say that those who are illegal, like to me, those who are illegal are those who come underneath lorries and those who try to get in through bizarre means. But undocumented, it's different. It's because, like you said, with the Windrush and with the EU, they didn't require documentation, and all of a sudden they do. But because they don't have the documentation that they weren't supposed to have in the first place, or it wasn't necessary for them to have in the first place, they are no longer called undocumented. They're called illegal immigrants and all stuck in the same boat. Now, I understand that if the immigration comes and starts beating down your door and decides that they're going to do a raid, if you try to stop them, or if you say, look, my Article 8 rights, or, you can't be bursting down my door, you could be prosecuted for obstructing an immigration officer, put in chains, taken to jail. So the Home Officer has issued new guidance to immigration enforcement officers called simply obstruction. This refers to the criminal offence of obstructing an immigration officer in section 26 in brackets 1 in brackets G of the Immigration Act 1971, which sees activists, you see the name, activists, prosecuted for interfering with raids. So you're supposed to lay down and die. They come into your house, ransack your house, take whatever they want, and you're not supposed to say anything. Because if you do, you're an activist. You're interfering with the raid. You could be innocent, but you interfere in the raid. You can't even probably say, I'm innocent. That's probably called obstruction. A crucial element of that offence, however, is that the officer be acting in the execution of this act. In other words, he's ransacking your place, or he's taking people. They're raiding your house, looking for something, looking for passports normally, and that's what they're doing. And while they're doing it, mashing up your place. So, if you try to say to them, please sir, you're obstructing. For example, the power to arrest someone for obstruction is confined to situations of obstruction whilst acting in execution of the act, if they do arrest someone. So, what they're saying really is that they can do whatever they want, and you're not supposed to say a dicky bird, because if you do, you can be arrested. That's really, in a nutshell. It is essential that officers' records are correct and clearly detail how they were in execution of section 26 in brackets 1 in brackets G of the Immigration Act 1971 Act. Failure to do so could lead to the arrest being deemed unlawful and a court dismissing the case. But who's going to know? These poor buggers that they pick up or they raid or they cart off wherever they want to cart them off, do they know the immigration rules? No. And even if they did, can you imagine them saying, excuse me, immigration officer, I think you're breaching section 26 1G of the Immigration Act 1971. They'd say, cop it, mate. You saucy little bugger. They'll probably say worse than that. How dare you tell me my job? That's obstruction. You're obstructing an immigration officer. I'm taking you down the nick now. For obstructing the course of justice, as they call it. I don't know. By contrast, officers are advised that if they are obstructed, whilst not exercising any powers within the 1971 Act, they should instead consider the necessity to continue their deployment. God knows what that means. Their language sucks. Likewise, the section on use of reasonable force in response to an obstruction says, in other words, they can beat you up, do whatever they want and call it reasonable force. Section 146 in bracket 1 of the Immigration and Asylum Act 1999 allows immigration officers to use reasonable force where necessary when the immigration officer is simultaneously exercising any power conferred on him by the Immigration Acts. So basically, they can do what they want. I don't even know why they make it look like they need bloody laws, because they do what they want anyway. All they're doing is legalising their bad behaviour. And telling, human rights acts and human beings, up yours, we can do whatever we like. That's really what they're saying. We can do whatever we like. We have the say. And they show that anyway. They show that with the parties in 10 Downing Street. They show that with the way that they can get away with stuff and we can't. There's nothing you can do about it, peeps. That's all for now. And have a lovely, wonderful Christmas if I don't speak to you beforehand. I may or may not.